Okay, so I've seen a few times on Facebook this thing about the Netflix and the internet story where the guy shares the internet with his neighbor, and then he's outside talking to them, and they got talking about Netflix, and they're like, well, maybe you should, if you'd like to share the Netflix password with me, then we can watch and whatever. And his wife yells from outside, don't give him the password. We pay for that. Da 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 da. Right? And then the guy says, oh, and then the internet goes out for the neighbor, and the neighbor is like, oh, it's not working. And like his wife yells out, the Netflix isn't working because the internet's out. And he's like, yeah, I changed the internet password because I pay for it. From now on, I'm going to, da 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 da, right? And it's like, but a lot of what's happening is this particular verse here, people aren't looking at, So if we look at what Jesus would do in that situation and how he responded to a similar type of situation, we have love your enemies. So you have heard, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of the Father of heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and on the good. He sends the rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are even the tax collectors doing that? If you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than the pagans? Be perfect, therefore, as the Heavenly Father is perfect. Now, the other thing to think about is that, you've got this idea that it's your money, you pay for it. Really, that money comes from God, right? It's Him who gave that to you. So you need to be asking Him, what should I be doing with that money that you've allocated to me to take care of? And I mean, if you look at Matthew 25, which keeps popping up on my channel, but I mean it's because it's a very important verse. Is that one of the parables in that chapter is about talents, and then talents in those days was also a money. And so it's like the money that God gave you, what are you doing with that money? Are you using it for the kingdom, or are you using it for your own things and saying, oh, well, it's my money because, I worked for it and all of that. So something to ponder. When you're loving, are you loving everybody? Or are you loving those who love you? And when it comes to the money thing of like, well, I pay for the internet, so I pay for, it's like, well, that has been brought to you by whatever money you got is coming to you because God has granted you those provisions in order for you to survive. So when I hear people like some of the politicians lately on social media that are like, oh, this is so tough, we need to be, making it so that people can afford to buy houses and afford to buy all these different things. And it's like, well, there's all these people that don't even have a place to live, even just to rent. It's that love for your neighbor again, because they're loving all the people that are, going to vote for them, and all the people that are their buddies and their friends, and they take care of them. So we need to take care of everybody, not just, our good buddies.